That's tragic, that's criminal, that's what we charge.
A Minneapolis police officer behind bars tonight after being charged in a crash that killed an innocent driver during a high-speed chase. Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Scullin. Officer Brian Cummings was driving nearly 80 miles per hour when his squad car slammed into another vehicle, killing Leneal Frazier. Tonight, Frazier's family celebrating that the officer is being held accountable for his actions. Fox 9's Mary McGuire spoke with Frazier's loved ones about what these charges mean in their pursuit for justice. Mary?
And Karen, Officer Brian Cummings is now the 8th Minnesota police officer to face criminal charges for their role in an on-duty death. But those previous 7, those were all shootings. This is the first time that a Minnesota officer has been charged for their role in an on-duty police pursuit. The family of the victim in this case telling me they learned of these charges when everybody else did on the news.
Once we heard it on the news, we all jumped up, happy.
Meeting at the intersection where he was killed, the family of Leneal Frazier celebrated the news that criminal charges were filed more than 3 months after the fatal crash.
This is what he needed.
Happy.
I felt happy, like it was relieved because I really didn't think he was gonna get charged.
On July 6th, Minneapolis police officer Brian Cummings was pursuing a stolen car and 2 suspects thought to be involved in a couple of nonviolent robberies. Around 12:30 in the morning at the intersection of 41st and Lindell Avenue North, surveillance cameras caught the moment Cummings ran a red light and crashed into 40-year-old Frazier, who had a green light. Crash analysis reveals Cummings was going 78 miles an hour.
This is so egregious that we needed to do something, and we did it.
Fox 9 was there when Cummings turned himself in on Friday, now facing charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminal vehicular homicide. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman says officers must be held accountable for their roles in what he calls dangerous pursuits.
They got to do it for good reason. Minor felonies, 12:30 a.m., 90 miles an hour, residential, that's wrong.
They need to make an example out of him.
Frazier's family believes charges are the first step towards justice and accountability.
If we doing wrong and we getting locked up, the police, if they doing wrong and they know they did wrong, they need to be accounted for.
Now, we did reach out to Minneapolis police and they declined to comment on any aspect of this case. They also couldn't say anything about Officer Cummings' employment status within the department. Reporting live in Minneapolis, Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
The attorney for Cummings did release this statement extending his condolences and saying in part, at this point in the case, we still face many questions about the details of the case. My preliminary investigation reveals this tragedy began with a violent carjacking. It's clear the car's occupants were on a crime spree, a practice that has unfortunately become too common in Minneapolis.